good afternoon. I am Andrea Chisholm with the Midday News. Special welcome if you're watching on onespotmedia.com. A reminder as well that you can watch TVJ Live by downloading our One Spot Media app in the Google Play Store or the App Store. That's the number 1 followed by the words Spot and Media. The calls are growing louder for strict regulations governing the use of closed-circuit televisions, CCTVs, in public spaces so that privacy rights are respected. Human rights advocate Roger Malcolm says the question of whether there can be privacy in public spaces needs to be answered. Since the police want to use footage from CCTVs to help fight crime, Indicom says the activity should be regulated to prevent wrongful use. Mr. Malcolm agrees with both positions, but adds there are several factors to be considered in deciding how to use the footage to tackle crime.
So with video surveillance, it is not so much one, whether or not it is in the home or in the public, because we have no sense of where cameras are being positioned, how far they can zoom, what they can zoom into. And therefore, because there's no regulations, it is not so much that we are opposing that cameras be placed in public spaces. But that question is simply a question that has no resolution because we have no understanding of the scope of this. So it needs to be put in regulations.
Meanwhile, attorney at law Bert Samuels says it could be dangerous if there is no proper oversight governing the use of CCTVs in public spaces.
Telephone companies have had employees who have shared information, albeit voice, with persons who have an interest in them, in terms of intimate interest in them, and has caused ruptures in persons, relationships. It is so open to abuse, so the possibilities of causing hurt to the innocent are so wide that I think Indicom is asking that, listen, we need to cast a net on this issue. We have put in the cart before the horse. We need to have the regulations in place before we begin to use this very potent, potentially dangerous evidence.
Another Jamaican has pleaded guilty in a U.S. court to being part of the lottery scamming that targets elderly Jamaicans. Most of the victims are from New York, and the Jamaican is facing a lengthy prison sentence. News 10 ABC aired this report.
A Jamaican man has pleaded guilty to being part of a lottery scam that targeted elderly people right here in the state of New York. According to the Department of Justice, 22-year-old Darren Murray pleaded guilty yesterday to mail fraud and conspiracy to commit mail and wire fraud after he admitted to being a part of the Jamaica-based scam. The scammers would call elderly people in the U.S. and tell them they won the lottery, but they would first have to pay taxes and fees. One of the victims was from Pittsfield, and that person sent $20,000 to one of Murray's conspirators who lived in Albany. Murray now faces up to 20 years in prison.
The police have identified the man who was shot and killed at his home in Bellomont's St. Elizabeth Wednesday night. He is Wayne Graham, a woodcutter who moved to the area 6 months ago from Montego Bay, St. James. Residents say this is the first murder in the community in over 60 years. Residents say they heard an explosion near Mr. Graham's home around 10:30. They later found him dead with several gunshot wounds. They say he was a very hard-working man, but believes he owed persons in the community money, and that may have led to his death.
I get him in a district, we can cut some wood for me and in just stay in a district and start cut all about in a district.
Up to around 7 o'clock yesterday evening. And the man should not shop, I think going around. I'm by a destroyer. And I say I go for bed. He left all my shop, me saw down a shop. And, he just go from the yard and say, all right, I go bed. And by 9 hours, me hear some bridge in a car. I say, go and shut a bus at the road. That's what me hear. Thank you, bridge.
Yesterday, me check the man. I asked him, say, boy, if he, me and him do business together, if he pay the man, anybody who he owe me some money, and I say, yeah, I do. Clear off all them man never you owe. And just, me take it home.
To a TVJ News follow-up now, the police are urging 2 of the 3 young women implicated in the March 27 assault of an 18-year-old in Maypen, Clarendon to turn themselves in. The third girl accused of the assault, which was videotaped and circulated on social media, made her first court appearance yesterday.
One guardian was charged, and one of the girl that was implicated was also charged, and she was brought before the court where the matter was dealt with. The court is now requesting that the other two individuals surrender themselves. The parents or guardian of these individuals are being asked to surrender them at the Maypen police station by the latest Monday morning. The parent or guardian who these individuals are found with will be arrested and charged. Or any adult who they may be found with, they will be arrested and charged. Kayana Davis and Natasha Davis. Natasha is said to be in the Chapelton area, and Kayana Davis, she has no fixed address.
Two of the accused persons, along with the victim, attended the Bethel College in Clarendon. They have not returned to school since the incident. Production at the Caribbean Cement plant at Rockford in Kingston came to a standstill this morning as workers protested against the company's wage offer. The company has proposed a 3% increase for year 1 and 4% in year 2. The employees are insisting that the offer is too low. John Levy, General Secretary of UK's, says they are taking industrial action as wage negotiations have broken down.
The issue of offering 5% as an incentive for redundancy versus 3% for the wage increase has caused major concern among the workers. The people that are here see that as an insult.
A meeting was held yesterday where the workers were offered the option of redundancy. He added that the Jamaican workers are concerned about the management hiring foreign workers at their expense.
I've seen expatriates coming in while at the same time Jamaican workers are being made redundant. And that has also placed a level of concern to the workers. This continuous redundancies without somebody getting a handle as to exactly how many workers do the owners of the facility really want.
A man is dead following a motor vehicle crash on the Boulders Main Road in Old Harbour, St. Catherine yesterday evening. Dead is 38-year-old Lascelles Gordon of Blackwood Gardens in the parish. Reports indicate that Mr. Gordon was riding his motorcycle when he swerved from a manhole and hit the back wheel of a trailer in front of him. He fell from the motorcycle and landed on top of another car. The Old Harbour Police believe speeding was the cause of the accident. Tractors have begun to clear many areas which were impassable in northern Clarendon following last week's heavy rains. But motorists who use some of the worst affected roads say travel is both an eyesore and a headache in many areas.
We're coming from Frankfield, I try reaching a Penance and have to take it all the way through Green River, come up through the hills, and the road is rough. If anybody curse you and tell you say you stay like that, the road, they them curse you bad. We want a new infrastructure right here. River coast take where the road. We don't have no road. And right now we don't know where to go and type so we can't go up a Frankfield. This road me have to use new alternative route. And we can't manage it. It was a skill. Big tree and some big posts. Pack down our boat up there, you know. All the camp pass take a water. Some of the man take a good look, saying, come up so we come from, you know. We have to go to Maypen, we have to go to Frankfield. We have to go to Sparlings and we can't go through more while.
Motorists aren't the only ones who have to travel longer distances as a result of the flood damage in northern Clarendon. TVJ News caught up with a farmer in Park Hall.
The road which part me I go my bush, the whole I tear down. See it all along in see come down here so. So I have to go around all the way around now. If you go out all the way and come back up. If you go up on my hill.
The president of the Haiti Jamaica Society has disagreed with comments by the St. Mary Police that Haitians are leaving their country because United Nations peacekeeping forces have withdrawn from Haiti. Head of the St. Mary Police, Superintendent Fabian Ferguson, made the comments last week after 2 Haitians arrived at the Pagey fishing village in Port Maria. The president of the Jamaica-Haiti Association, Martha Dezume, says the UN troops were never responsible for patrolling Haiti's borders and Haitians are leaving because of the humanitarian crisis.
Week of 2010, 10 months later, the UN forces introduced a cholera epidemic, which has killed 10,000 people and sickened 800,000. That has been followed by rains and flooding, the worst of which was Hurricane Matthew last year, which killed 1,000 people and destroyed countless houses, bridges, and crops, resulting in a famine alert. And we've just had some more flooding in the last 2 weeks, which has killed more people. People are still living in tent cities from the earthquake. Some analysts place unemployment at 70%. So no, Haiti has not yet recovered and is not ready to take back 58,000 refugees who fled from these very conditions.
She therefore wants CARICOM leaders to act.
The fact that the Caribbean countries are seeing Haitian refugees reaching their shores is a sure sign that the crisis has reached breaking point. It is therefore imperative that CARICOM leaders send an urgent message to the U.S. government that Haitians need to receive an extension of TPS because Haiti cannot absorb these people, and neither can they.
Councillor for the Pepin Division, Venetia Phillips, says more needs to be done to protect wheelchair users from accidents on the roads. Her comments come on the heels of an incident earlier this month in which a wheelchair user in the division was hit by a car. Sylvia Grant says she went on a Jamaica Urban Transit Company JUTC bus which carried her to Pepin. She later came off the bus and was crossing the road.
Crossover, bend in the corner now, I see a car just come on and just hit me on the right hand side.
Of your wheelchair?
Of my wheelchair, but my hand was on it, but looked like God told me to take it up. So when I take it up, the car just come and hit me, and then my chair lean over, and then I just come back over with my body, and the guy just stop little and just drive away and never come back.
And was later taken to hospital where she was treated and released. Ms. Phillips says traffic lights in Pepin do not give pedestrians and wheelchair users enough time to cross the roads.
Coming from the, Old Hope Road into Pepin Square, it is a blind corner coming onto Shanda's place, and so there is no provision in terms of the timing of the light made for pedestrians. Case in point, a lady has to wait to walk between cars, which is very dangerous.
To news now in sports, a confident 8-member boxing contingent from Panama is now in Jamaica for the Development Pro-Am fight night at the Barbican Sports Beach on Saturday. Both Jamaica and Panama will be using the 4 amateur bouts as part of their development skills for the World Championship box-off in Costa Rica in July. The head coach says his team is well prepared and they should teach the Jamaicans some good skills about boxing.
They were training little by little, step by step, since the month of March. I think we are a planning training system we have. We have a lot of expectation because we are very well trained and to do a very good job in Jamaica. And for sure, we're planning to win.
Heavyweight Ronaldo Bermudez is the most experienced of the 4 boxers and he plans to dominate his opponent.
You have Leonard Luis, also Taylor, who live in Panama. I have a lot of respect for the boxer or Jamaican boxer. I think for him it's a good expectation to win some of them. No?
Luis Hernandez, who will be seeking to attend his 2nd World Championships, says he knows the style of his opponent, Jonathan Hanson.
Very well. We are very well training also to win. And to see what happened with the Jamaican boxers here. No? We want to do all the best. No?
And that's the Midday News. I'm Andrea Chisholm. Join us at 7 for Primetime News. On behalf of the News, Sports and Production teams, good afternoon and have a great weekend.